Welcome to the Paddy Power Poker Academy. Texas Hold'em is the world's most popular poker game, and it keeps on growing, especially online. It's a popular game because it's an exciting form of poker that is rather easy to learn compared to traditional stud games. In this video, we'll watch a full hand of Texas Hold'em to see how the game is played. And hey, if you're anxious to play, no worries because all these videos are only a few minutes long, so you can start playing right away with confidence about the rules and strategies. Hey, how about a little Hold'em history first? You know, it's been around a long time, but it became popular when poker greats like Amarillo Slim, Doyle Brunson, Crandall Addington, Johnny Moss, and Bobby Baldwin started making it the game of choice in the early 1970s. The pureness of the game and aggression needed to win was also the reason why Benny Binion decided that Hold'em was to be the game that determined the world champion in the annual World Series of Poker, which was originally held at Binion's Horseshoe Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. Interesting, huh? Now let's take a look at the basics of Texas Hold'em. A Hold'em table can have anywhere from 2 to 11 players. A full table, however, often has 9 or 10 seats like this one. Each player is dealt 2 hole cards which they keep private throughout the play of the hand. Players take turns as the play moves in a clockwise rotation from the starting point, which is called the dealer button, which also moves one position every hand. This way, all players take equal turns in the blinds. Oh right, the blinds. The 2 positions just to the left of the dealer button are called the blinds, usually a small and big. These are mandatory bets that make up the minimum pot of every hand. The blinds basically ensure that there is something to fight for on every hand played. Players can now participate in the first round of betting by folding or calling, raising, or even re-raising. The blinds do not have to play in the hand if the betting has been raised, but their chips or money stay in the pot no matter what. By the way, poker chips, whether playing live or online, can have a real dollar value when playing in a cash game, or a tournament value when playing in a multi-table tournament or sit-and-go tournament. We'll do this hand like a cash game. So 3 players have decided to play this hand, and their bets and the blinds make up the pot so far. The dealer will then deal 3 community cards, which are called the flop. Another round of betting starts with the first player to the left of the dealer button. He acts first. Now, since this round does not have a mandatory bet, he can simply check, like he just did, without putting any chips in the pot. This allows for the same option to the next player to act. However, this player decides to bet, which means that the next player cannot check. He can only fold, call, or re-raise. As you can see, he decides to call. But wait a second. The player that acted first by checking is now getting frisky and actually re-raises both players. This is often called a check raise. You know what? This might be an interesting hand. Who knew? Both opponents make the call, which closes the betting action for this round. Now the dealer turns over what is called the turn card, and another round of betting starts. But this time, the player first to act bets right out. In this round and the next, the minimum bet normally doubles in size. The next player now has to call, raise, or fold his hand, and as you can see, he actually decides to fold, but the other player calls. If both players had folded, the hand would be over here right now, and this player would win the pot without having to show his hand. Remember, if you fold at any time, you cannot win any part of the pot. The last 2 players see the final card, which is called the river. Almost the same thing happens here with a bet and a call, and that closes the betting for this entire hand. Players do have the option here to re-raise each other, but that didn't happen in this hand. So those chips are added to this nice size pot, and now it's time for the showdown. The dealer, or software in this case, will determine the best hand and award the pot accordingly. These are 2 strong hands, and this is a typical confrontation for a big pot in Hold'em. One player has 3 of a kind, called a set in this case, and the other player has 2 pair, aces and kings. Did you notice he just called the river though? With the betting and board texture, he was observant enough to figure his 2 pair might not be the best hand here and probably saved himself a big bet. Good player. This player then wins the pot, and the next hand is about to get started. And basically, that's how you play Texas Hold'em. It's rather easy to learn, but there are some crucial game elements at Hold'em that take a little time to understand. Things like position, no limit, pot limit, limit game, understanding the profile of your opponents, and understanding the value of aggression in poker. These and other topics are discussed in the Paddy Power Poker Academy, but in the meantime, you can try the Play Money or beginner tables in Paddy Power Poker. Just go to the main lobby and you can choose beginner here or move to the bottom and switch to the Play Money tables. Either way, you'll learn a lot more about the intricacies of the game when you're actually playing it. So go learn and go have some fun.